This is genuinely insane, and there is no way the Houston Rockets do this because the next superstar that has been linked to the Houston Rockets, if he becomes available, is one Anthony Davis. And I am not in favor of this idea of Anthony Davis coming over to the Houston Rockets. Welcome in, everyone. Glad to be back with you guys. I am your host, Munaf Manji. And the offseason rumors and the news circles keep on swirling. I don't know what's going on, but this one does not make any sense to me. Anthony Davis linked to the Houston Rockets in a trade that would involve Alperen Şengün and some other assets. We'll dive into all of that on this episode and why this makes no sense for the Houston Rockets to do this for one Anthony Davis. In the last video, I talked about Steph Curry, right? There were some people in favor of it, barring the right trade. Some people saying that, hey, Steph Curry's not going to leave the Golden State Warriors, right? And that might be true. Right now, we're going to talk about Anthony Davis in the next report that came out on Yahoo Sports, powered by Sporting News, saying Anthony Davis linked to the Houston Rockets. And let's just dive right into it here because it did drop earlier this week. And it says, as the headline, and again, you guys can see it right here. This is not coming from me. I am telling you this, right? Rockets predicted to trade Alperen Şengün for a $364 million ex-Lakers champion to pair with Kevin Durant. And of course, we know that is Anthony Davis. That is the headline on this article. Now, if we dive a little deeper into the article here, let me make this bigger for you guys so you guys can see it. It says Houston could make another major move to build around Durant. And SI's Landon Buford proposes that the Rockets send Alperen Şengün and Jabari Smith to the Washington Wizards in exchange for Anthony Davis and Jameer Watkins. And according to ESPN's Trade Machine, a trade of Anthony Davis and Jameer Watkins for Alperen Şengün and Jabari Smith Jr. is successful, with neither move affecting the winning percentage by the respective teams. However, if Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis can both stay healthy, to the Rockets can be a top 14 in the Western Conference to lock in a second round appearance. Now, this is where I have the issue with this article right here, saying that, hey, number one, I stopped reading it, and a lot of you are probably going to agree with it. The key point where he mentioned, if Anthony Davis stays healthy. When was the last time Anthony Davis was healthy for a full season or even going into the playoffs? So I will dive into all of those numbers here momentarily and look at Anthony Davis, number one, his career stats, and also his salary as well, and what's the difference is, because we know that in any trade for a guy like Anthony Davis, that Alperen Şengün would have to be a part of that deal. And there is no way I personally want to trade Şengün for an off-injured Anthony Davis, right? Because that makes zero sense to me at all. So, number one, let's look at Anthony Davis's number in his career, right? And I will say this about Anthony Davis, that when he is healthy, that he is in that conversation for MVP. But those conversations are few and far between for Anthony Davis because, again, he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. Yes, he got the NBA title with the Lakers where they were in the bubble. Some people want to call it the Mickey Mouse title. It was one of the easier titles, and some people call it even a difficult title, right? Because of the circumstances there. But I think the biggest key thing that sticks out to me is, again, we talk about health for Anthony Davis. And I think that is where I have the biggest issue on why I don't want Anthony Davis part of this team. Number one, let's take a look at the age difference for Alperen Şengün and Anthony Davis, right? Right now, Anthony Davis is entering, boy, I have to count all this. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16th season in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. And the shocking part to me, I was having a conversation with a friend about this, is that would you rather have Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid? And it was shocking to me that Anthony Davis is actually a year older than Joel Embiid. Right now, come March 11th of next year, Anthony Davis will be 34 years old, right? And Şengün, of course, we know is one of the younger guys on our roster that the Rockets are trying to build around. And he's going to be he just turned 24 in July, right? July 25th, he turned 24. So there's about a 9-year difference between a younger version, a younger Alperen Şengün, and a Anthony Davis that is entering possibly the twilight years of his career, right? And how more effective is he going to be? Because as basketball fans, when we're watching Anthony Davis and we see him grimace or hit the ground a little bit, even if we're not that respective team's fan, we all gasp because Anthony Davis has that history of being injured, right? So let's go with this thing with the Lakers, right? First year, 62 games, 36 games, 40 games, 56 games, 76 games, 42-9 after that trade with Luka, where he played 51 games between the LA Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. And then last year, he played in 20 games. 20 games. And now you take a look at his contract of what is remaining on 2 years, including this year and next. Let's pull that graphic up for you guys and take a look at that. Anthony Davis is getting paid $55+ million for this upcoming season. $55+ million. A total value right now of $58.5 million for this upcoming season. In that final year when he is going to be 34 years old, that balloons up to $62.5 million, right? Financially, it doesn't make sense. From an age perspective, it doesn't make sense. As much as people have their gripes about Şengün, I would rather have Alperen Şengün as my starting center on this roster than Anthony Davis. It just doesn't make sense. Right now, let's take a look at Şengün's contract because he just got paid, right? We just talked about that contract extension that he got a couple seasons ago with this Rockets team, right? Look, total value of $112 million that's guaranteed to him, right? He's going to be, and let me make this bigger for you guys so you can see it for Şengün for this upcoming year. He's going to be paid about $35.5, a little over $35.5 million. Next year, 37, 39, and 39, right? That's a very friendly team contract and based on what the worth of Şengün is. And I think that could really skyrocket for a guy like Şengün on his value just based on what he still has some develop in his game. Right? He's still 24 years old, right? I think that's the thing that people are forgetting. So with this idea of Anthony Davis being traded to the Rockets, I think it's absolutely terrible. I don't think that makes sense because, again, in 2 years, let's just say Anthony Davis comes in, hypothetically, I'm playing devil's advocate here. Let's say the Rockets do trade for him, right? I don't think it's going to happen, but let's just play devil's advocate for a second. He comes in next season, he plays, let's say at the trade deadline, Rockets trade for him, right? It's not working out with the Wizards, which I think for the Wizards, I think it's going to work out very well, just based on the roster that they do have. Let's say he comes to the Rockets. Şengün's part of that deal. Jabari Smith, some more assets that go along. Anthony Davis is here. Plays out his contract, and that next following season, next year, he's due $62 million. There's no guarantee that he's going to sign a contract extension with the Houston Rockets, stay here for the final 3-4 years of his NBA career, right? And at that point, as I mentioned, the biggest concern that I have with Anthony Davis is, again, let's go back to it, his career numbers. The numbers are there, right? We know what he can do on the offensive side. We know what he can do rebounding the basketball, and we know what he can do playing defense. But the biggest thing is that availability. I always say this, availability is the biggest thing when it comes to playing any sport. Are you available? And over the past 5 years, Anthony Davis has not been available, and that's been the biggest thing for me. So I'm curious to know what you guys think in the comments about Anthony Davis. Would you trade Şengün and assets in part of a deal for Anthony Davis? My response is a resounding no. If Steph Curry ever did become available for the Houston Rock or from the Golden State Warriors, I would definitely entertain that. But as far as Anthony Davis goes for this Houston Rockets team, it's a no for me. This is just smoke and mirrors, and it doesn't make any sense for the Houston Rockets. So with all that being said, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, this was another article that was dropped on Yahoo Sports, powered by Sporting News. And again, last thing but not least, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us on this Rockets Digest Media channel. Please go ahead and do so. We're about 64 away from getting to 9,000 subscribers on this Rockets Media channel. Can't get there without the help of you guys. And again, we'll be talking more Rockets, more roster things, more scheduling things that are coming up for the Houston Rockets for the upcoming season and what our expectations are for the Rockets. But as far as this episode goes and this video goes, Anthony Davis, thank you, but no thank you. I'll definitely pass on that, especially even a deal that does require Alperen Şengün. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And we'll be back for the next video, and I'll talk to you guys then. Have a great day.